Hey guys, welcome back to Neptune's Child Tarot. My name is Monique and this is my second tarot channel here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for your continued love and support here on the channel. For those of you that would like to book a private reading, you can find my email down below in the description box. Just send me an email and I will provide you with more information on booking readings as well as other services with me. For those of you that are new, welcome. You may also want to check out my main tarot channel, Moon Moth Goddess, where I do have a bunch of other pick a card readings posted into playlists for you guys if you guys do enjoy the content on this channel. Yes, I do encourage you to check out my main tarot channel as well. For those of you that would like to support the channel, I do have PayPal, Cash App. I also have my Amazon wish list for those of you that are wanting to send in a tarot or an oracle deck for me to use for future pick-a-card readings. You can also show love and support by clicking the thumbs up button to let YouTube know that you do enjoy the content. That also helps the channel out as well. So I truly appreciate you guys that take the time to do that. And also those of you that leave beautiful comments for me, letting me know how much these readings are helpful for you. Those of you that take the time to send me personal messages via email to let me know how they're helping you there as well. And for those of you that also donate to the channel, I truly appreciate you guys, all of you, for all of the support that you show and the love. It is truly, truly appreciated. So today's pick a card reading, we are doing how can you reinvent yourself? And I want you guys to be able to use this reading for how can you and how are you? Because for those of you that are kind of like in the process of trying to reinvent yourself, the things that come through the reading today can definitely be tools that you use to implement certain things into your life so that it can help you to reinvent yourself. So yes, how can you and how are you reinventing yourself? So we are going to do 3 different piles today for you guys to choose from. We do have a Serpentine for pile 1, a Dalmatian Jasper for pile 2, and then we have a blue agate for pile number 3. I am going to be adding in one of these cards today, and this is from the illustrated bestiary, I think it's pronounced. I'm not sure, bestiary or bestiary oracle cards. So we're going to be adding in one of these to help you with choosing your pile. So let's do that. So how are you, or how can you reinvent yourself? How are you, or how can you? So we'll do that for 1. This will be for pile 2. How are you, or how can you reinvent yourself? And then we'll do that for pile number 3. So let's take a look at your options today. For pile 1, we have Free Your Inner Fire with the pileated, I'm not sure, pileated woodpecker. And that is going to be with this Serpentine for pile number 1. How can you, or how are you reinventing yourself? So take it how it resonates, whether you are already implementing these things and this is how you're approaching the process of reinventing, or for those of you that needing a little bit of help in order to make this happen. So pile 1, Free Your Inner Fire. Pile 2, we have Appreciate the Process with Cow and Bull. And that is with this Dalmatian Jasper. And then pile number 3 is Nurture Connections. And that is with the Gray Wolf. That is pile 3, and that is going to be with this blue agate. If you do feel drawn to more than one, that is perfectly okay for this reading, as you might have messages across the piles. So go with whatever your intuition is telling you. How are you, or how can you reinvent yourself? So pile 1, free your inner fire with the Septarian, right? Septarian? Yes. Pile 2 with appreciate the process with the Dalmatian Jasper. And then pile number 3, nurture connections with the blue agate. Timestamps will be down below, and I will see you guys at your reading. Hi, pile 1. So those of you that resonated with the free your inner fire with the pileated woodpecker, this is going to be your reading today. So we're finding out, how can you, or how are you reinventing yourself? So as I said in the intro, for those of you that are trying to reinvent yourself, then you would take these messages as, something that you can implement within yourself, within your life, in your environment, as a way to help you to reinvent yourself. And some of you may resonate with these messages as something that you're already in the process of doing. So general reading, just take the messages how they resonate. If you feel like they don't really fit, then you're more than welcome to choose a different pile. Okay, but starting off with the free your inner fire, I feel like for many of you, this is speaking about you consistently putting in dedicated, committed effort to doing things that light your soul on fire, that spark inspiration within you, that you feel passionate about doing. Okay, with freeing your inner fire. To me, this fiery energy is something that helps you to be more creative. So many of you may resonate with the message of doing things that you're passionate about, doing things that, are a creative outlet for you. Like, let's just say some of you like to write or paint or dance or draw, or you have a specific hobby or a skill set that you're good at, that you actually take the time to put in that effort. Okay. And some of you might already be, like I said, already doing that. And this is how you're reinventing yourself, is you're deciding to pursue things that you are passionate about, even if it's like a side hustle that you're creating, opening your own business, or just kind of finding a hobby on the side, right? In your free time, spare time, something that really you are very interested in. And some of you, it could be deep diving into the self and finding out what that is, right? Spending time to really, with self, to think about what makes your soul light up, what makes you happy. What do you feel like when you think about that in your mind, and it brings a smile to your face, or it just kind of throws in so many different ideas or so much inspiration to you that you just kind of start down this path of thinking of so many different things, like, wow, I can do XYZ, and then I want to do, here and there, and, all of these things. So I feel like it's a beautiful energy for you to embody, is freeing your inner fire, right? All of that infinite creative potential that you have within yourself. And this would be something that could help you to reinvent yourself. So let's look at your tarot. And this is going to be one of your messages here, but let's look at your tarot first, and we're going to add in some more oracle cards for you. So let's see. Pile number 1, how can you, or how are you reinventing yourself? And I will have all of the tarot and oracle decks listed down below in the description box for you guys. I'm using the Mind's Eye Tarot by Olivia Rose, which is available on Amazon. Pile 1, how can you, or how are you reinventing yourself? We have the 9 of Wands as your first card out. How is pile 1 reinventing themselves, or how can they reinvent themselves? Look at this. Look at all of this fire energy. We've got the 9 of Wands, the 8 of Wands. Some of you could be fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Look at this. 6 of Wands, 6, 8, 9. How is pile number 1 reinventing, or how can they reinvent themselves? We have the Star. And then, yeah, look at all of this fire energy. Then we have the Page of Wands energy here as well. Okay. So we also have Aquarius energy here. But yes, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And then I'm also seeing the Wheel of Fortune. Look at how beautiful this Wheel of Fortune card is. The Wheel of Fortune. Okay, as your bottom of the deck energy here. So let's talk about this. You have a lot of wands here. So I'm definitely feeling like this is, you know, very much into this energy here. Free your inner fire, because you have the Page of Wands energy here. And the Page of Wands is about you exploring, discovering, tapping into your infinite creative potential, which is something that I said earlier, okay? When I was thinking of this card, it was reminding me of the Page of Wands, and here it is. But yes, to me, this is about you really putting in, you know, the effort, the dedication, about exploring, discovering, you know, going down new paths, whatever that means for you. I'm also getting a message here because you do have the Star energy here. Many of you are also putting in a lot of effort to improve your physical body, okay? And that could be putting in, you know, working on your fitness level, okay? Working on your diet, working on a glow up, a personal glow up, okay? Is what I'm seeing here. Is definitely a beautiful energy. So it may be that you're putting forth a lot of energy, as with all the wands within the tarot. They are all about our spiritual energy, you know, energy that we're directing in a certain place. And so you have plenty of it, okay? The Page of Wands, like I said, is all about exploring. Some of you could be traveling. Some of you could be, you know, pursuing certain passions that you have in life, and just kind of allowing yourself to be guided by your intuition and creative energy, passionate energy, right? Your inner fire. And like I said, those of you that are wanting to know how can you reinvent yourself, you have all of this fire energy here to put forth towards pursuing a creative goal or something that inspires you. And through that process of you kind of starting with that, it really helps you to open up into more things, okay? Once you allow that creative energy to kind of lead you, that's where I was saying, it's kind of like it may open up a whole new door for you in terms of other things that you feel led or guided to. The Eight of Wands is about putting energy in motion. The Nine of Wands is about putting forth a lot of energy, okay? A lot of effort, a lot of energy that you're putting towards things. The Six of Wands is also about you getting recognition, you know, validation, being in the spotlight. Some of you might, by pursuing certain passions that you have, you could be receiving recognition, let's just say at your workplace, or, you know, the Six of Wands is also about success, victory, achievements, being able to overcome something, being able to accomplish something, and feeling this very beautiful celebratory type of energy. Okay. So some of you, even by maybe even discovering a creative talent that you have, and then being recognized for that, right? Other people noticing you being stand out. Like I said, some of you, I feel like you could be working on your physical body, eating healthier, working out, you know, improving your outward appearance. Okay. And I'm kind of seeing a little bit of a mix here between the internal and the external physical body. With the Star energy here, many of you can also be putting in a lot of effort towards healing, releasing, because the Star is about healing. It's about renewal. It's about shifting into a place of having trust, faith, being more optimistic about things, right? It could be that, let's just say you change the mindset and you change the mindset into more positive thinking, right? With the Six of Wands energy, saying to yourself, wow, I know that this is a challenge, or I know that this is some type of adversity that I'm facing at this time, but I'm going to choose to have more trust, have more faith, be more optimistic about where I'm being guided, where I'm being led, because the star is also about our destiny and about wishes being fulfilled. So some of you could really continue and keep up this momentum going with all of this Wands energy here, because with the Wheel of Fortune, this is you also learning how to go with the flow, understanding the ebb and flow of life, understanding that we all go through cycles of, positive things happening in our life, not so nice things happening in our life, but it is how well we are able to recover from those not so great things, right? Instead of letting them be something in our life that completely derail us, or, that we start to think negative thoughts about, and it completely changes our mindset or our mood, or, our mental, emotional health, or, start to think more pessimistically. So with the Wheel of Fortune, I feel like many of you are learning how to go with the flow, or will need to need to go with the flow more, right? Because the Wheel of Fortune is about life, and its unpredictability, and understanding that even if we are going through a time that is not so great, we have to know within ourselves that it won't last, right? It will pass. And so it's being able with that Six of Wands to see and to have faith with the star, right? Six of Wands, knowing that it is something that we can overcome. Okay. So yeah, I'm seeing the star energy for some of you could be healing internally, right? Doing a lot of, maybe taking more time for self, more time for rest. Many of you, like I said, working on the physical body, could be feeling more beautiful, more confident in yourself. As a way that you're helping to build up self-esteem, self-worth, confidence, things of that nature. So let's see what else your oracle cards have. So how can you, or how are you reinventing yourself? And some of you might even, with the Nine of Wands energy here, may even be working towards looking at where you're currently putting forth your energy, because the Nine of Wands, we could be putting forth so much energy, and sometimes it is something that we're willingly doing, right? Or sometimes it's that we are taking on too much, because the Nine of Wands can have the risk of burnout, right? When we're overworking or overdoing something. So for some of you, it can be, maybe taking a look at what you're currently putting your energy towards, and then deciding what can be released, what can be let go of, so that you can focus your intention or your energy towards other things that make you feel joy or happiness. So let's see, maybe also with the Page of Wands, because this can also be about travel, right? Maybe some of you have dreams or wishes to travel, and could be putting forth a lot of energy towards, working more hours, or, whatever it is that you need to help you to increase your flow of abundance, right? Because the Wheel of Fortune can also talk about an influx of abundance, of our luck, our fortune, changing that. So many of you, yes, you might be, working really hard so that you can change your financial situation, so you get recognized, right? You get a raise by your boss offering that to you, so that gives you more money to be able to travel or to do things that you really want to do. So let's see what else. How can pile number one reinvent themselves, or how are they? We have wisdom. Okay. So for many of you, can also be taking a look at a lot of the lessons that you've learned within your life, and then kind of integrating that wisdom and that knowledge that you've gained from your experiences, right? With that Wheel of Fortune energy, and then integrating that energy into your life. So let's see what else. How can pile number one reinvent, or how are they reinventing themselves? And some of you, it can simply just be putting forth energy towards something, right? Versus stagnancy. Or trying to control, because the Wheel of Fortune is about cycles, right? So many of you could be surrendering, releasing control, right? Releasing control to the universe and not trying to force things, right? Just trusting, having faith that whatever is meant to happen, whatever is meant to be yours, will happen in divine timing. Many of you, it is learning to trust in divine timing. So how are you reinventing yourself, or how can you reinvent yourself? Pile 1. We have telepathy, and it says transmission, perception, and communication. So many of you, this can even be communicating with your spirit guides, your ancestors, guardian angels, your higher self. Okay. And that can be something that really helps you to navigate, right? Which direction you're really wanting to go in. Let's see what else. How can pile number 1 reinvent, or how are you? Some of you are learning to trust where you're being guided, right? And then we have forgiveness here as well. So like I said, some of you could be focusing on healing, learning to let things go. Okay. Process of healing, especially because the 9 of Wands can also be when we're wounded, right? So many of you could be learning to release, how to acknowledge certain wounds within inside of yourself, how to address them, right? Some of you could even be transmuting this energy into a specific passion of yours, right? Can also be something there. But with forgiveness, this reminds me a lot of you being able to release things that you're holding on to, or maybe have been holding on to, learning to let go of anger, learning to let go of resentment or any negative feelings, emotions that you might be holding on to from past situations. And through your process of doing that, you feel lighter, right? From the inside out. Maybe, like I said, some of you could really be working on healing and finding success through healing, of being able to release so much of the energetic weight that you might be carrying, right? And for some of you, your higher self might even be, helping you with that, right? Bringing it to your attention, certain things that need healing, right? And from those, you might be kind of drawing inspiration or feel led or guided towards certain things as you're healing. Let's see what else. Pile 1. How can you, or how are you reinventing yourself? How can pile number 1 reinvent themselves, or how are they reinventing themselves? The inner child. Okay, so for many of you, this can be that you already have been doing some inner child healing, or for those of you that are wanting to, work towards reinventing yourself, then starting with your inner child. And you can connect in different ways. For some of you, you're connecting with your inner child for healing, okay, with some of the wounds that you might be holding on to, healing your inner child. Some of you, it can be simply connecting in with your inner child. And that could be a process where you take some time to sit down and meditate and think about, when you were a child, what were the things that you like to do, right? Did you like to dance? Did you like to paint? Did you like to draw? Did you have creative things that you like to do? Whether it's going outside and collecting rocks, or leaves that were, on the ground, or seashells on the beach, or, did your inner child like to sing, So the Page of Wands, like I said earlier, is all about connecting in with our infinite creative potential. And that, essentially, the pages are children. So many of you, it can be tapping into that part of you, that inner child that has hope, right? Because when you talk to a child and you think about it, children are very sweet, very innocent, and they have so much, ideas and inspiration, and the way that they light up and their face lights up when they talk about something. It's kind of like that is where Spirit is saying here that when you connect to that part of yourself, right, without all of the conditioning, without all the trauma, without all of the life things that we go through, this is ultimately when you can connect back in with your inner child, that part of you, that may like to collect, figurines, or to color in coloring books, or to, make artwork, or, get a telescope and look up at the night sky, or, all of those things that you like to do. Essentially, that is what you're getting yourself back to, is that part of you that believes in yourself, right? That has confidence in yourself, that says, I can do anything I set my mind to, right? That is ultimately where you can reinvent yourself, by connecting back in with your inner child. And like I said, maybe some of you, it is uncovering the inner child that you have been disconnected from because of wounds that you might have there, right? So first addressing the healing that needs to happen, and then after that, you're uncovering that inner child that is there, that has so much hope, so much faith in the self and your creative passions, abilities. Okay, so take that how it resonates. So let's see what else. How can pile number one, or how is pile number one reinventing themselves? We have practicing gratitude. Okay, practicing gratitude. Let's see what else. And I feel, since you have, and this is coming in right on top of wisdom here, so many of you may have gone through, right, some very challenging things in your life. But when we can start to look back on these experiences from a place of forgiveness, gratitude, we can change the way we look back on past, people, situations that we've gone through, and think about all the knowledge and wisdom that we've gained from going through that experience. Because even though a lot of things could be particularly challenging or painful or traumatic that we've gone through, we can always step outside of the situation and look at things from a different perspective, right? Understanding, what our soul learned through that process. Okay, and hold gratitude. Let's see what else. We have raising your vibration. So some of you literally could be, changing the environment that you're in. It could be releasing yourself from toxic family situations, friendships, work environments, romantic relationships, friendships. It could even be that you're reflecting within inside of yourself, right? Letting go of fears, letting go of insecurities, letting go of, lowered self-esteem, lack of confidence, any of these things, guilt, shame, all of these things that could be keeping you in a lower vibrational energy, that you're actually looking at them, right? Unpacking them. So I'm definitely feeling a lot of transmuting energy here, but working towards elevating yourself. Okay. And those of you, like I said, that are kind of wanting to reinvent yourself, this is Spirit saying here, raise your vibration. How can you do that? Right? We're being more mindful of our thoughts. We're taking time to reflect upon what subconscious fears, insecurities, doubts, suppressed feelings and emotions that we have that are keeping us in that state. If we're not someone who thinks the most positive, maybe we are shifting into the mindset of being more optimistic, learning to have more faith, learning to have more trust and belief in the self, right? Which can also help to elevate the vibration as well. Let's see what else, pile one. We also have ancestral healing. So I'm definitely feeling like you guys are definitely healing here. Okay. Cycles, especially with the Wheel of Fortune here, can be stuck in certain cycles. Okay. Some of you can also be kind of moving out of a space of feeling like you need validation from others, right? Moving away from that space of validating yourself, being confident, celebrating yourself, recognizing if there are people in your life that do not value you, that do not appreciate you, that you also work towards releasing. Okay? This forgiveness can be forgiving others. It can also be forgiving yourself. Okay? Let's see what else. And we have alignment here. Okay? So many of you can be, taking a look at things that you need to release, let go of. Like I said, friendships, relationships, jobs, anything that is not, when you think of like your best version of self and you hold that in your mind's eye, right? And then you reflect upon the version of you that you are now. Okay. Like I said, some of you could be in the process of already changing, elevating, reinventing, but some of you are wanting a little bit of extra help, right? So again, we're looking at what are the things in our life at this point that do not align with this version of ourselves that we see in our mind's eye, right? And letting go of those things. And of course, it's easier said than done. Sometimes it takes a little bit of extra effort, work, to change thoughts, to change subconscious feelings, emotions that we have in connection to certain things that we've gone through. But ultimately, it is you bringing yourself into alignment. I'm also seeing ego death at the bottom. Okay, so many of you, this can be working towards having a more healthy ego, okay? One that serves to, I feel like you in a good way, because our ego can sometimes get a little out of control. The ego serves to protect us throughout our life experience here on earth, but sometimes it can also hinder us, right? Especially when it's an unbalanced type of negative ego that we might have that could be trapped in certain fears or certain insecurities, telling us, oh no, you can't do that. You won't be good at that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go. Don't. It's not going to happen for you, right? All that negative self-talk, right? Because of certain underlying fears or insecurities that we might have, or doubting ourselves, right? So this is you truly, with the telepathy here, connecting in with the highest possible version of yourself, right? What would your highest version of self do? What would they pursue? And I feel like it might really help you to pile one to really kind of visualize, take some time, with a little meditation or just some quiet time, maybe even sitting down and journaling, connecting in with your higher self, or even thinking, to yourself, what would the highest version of myself do? What would they pursue in life? What would they accomplish? Would they, pursue their passions or their dreams or their goals without fear being something that would hold them back, right? And that is you learning to align with that version of self. And for some of you, the key to that could be healing, right? Inner child, ancestral, and like I said, really working towards transmuting that energy into a creative passion, okay, of yours. I am someone who's went through a lot of really traumatic romantic relationships in my life, in my past. And I feel like with my own healing process that I've been able to transmute a lot of that energy into what my passion is now, which is helping the collective, right? And so using what I've learned, my own wisdom, my own knowledge that I've gained from those experiences, to then be able to read the tarot in a certain way, to be able to help you to see certain things, or to be more aware of things that your own intuition might even be telling you about yourself or about certain situations. And so for me, that's kind of like the process that I've done, is that yes, I can look to my past as something that was, very painful, traumatic, and yes, it was. And that's the way that I looked at it for many, many years. But now I look at it as something that has taught me so much, and to change the way that I reflect back on it into a place of wisdom, that I've gained from that to be able to then use towards something that I enjoy doing, right, for the collective. Okay, so it's all in how we perceive, all in how, we address the wounds that are there, or, if it's low self-esteem that we have, low confidence, inner child wounds, okay, or feeling disconnected from the inner child, right? Needing to have fun more, needing to do things, like I said, that you find inspiration in, okay? Some of you, yes, we have perception here and communication. I'm feeling for some of you, it can also be changing your inner dialogue, right? The way that you communicate with yourself, not just with your higher self, but the way that you can communicate with yourself, right? Sometimes we can think and feel inspired one day and say, oh, I would love to do this. Oh my goodness, I would love it. But then in comes the ego, right? Oh no, you can't do that. You're not good enough to do that. You're not, all the ways in which we can think negative, right? So this is paying more attention to what that inner dialogue sounds like, and also working towards changing and shifting your perspective can also be something. But that also, again, happens with healing, right? Certain aspects of yourself that could be keeping yourself in a lower vibrational energy, which of course always looking not only internally but also externally. Are there any stressors or anyone, that's in your life or a situation, you could have yourself in that's keeping you in that lower vibrational state, okay? And again, working towards trying to remove yourself out of any cycles that you might see yourself in, right? Cycles of not believing in the self, cycles of fear that you might have, insecurities, and really working towards healing them, okay? But I'm really seeing a very beautiful energy here of you kind of working from the inside out, and channeling that energy into something very powerful for yourself, okay? So that is all that I have for you, pile number 1. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, pile 2. So those of you that resonated with the appreciate the process with the cow and bull energy here. So what I'm intuitively feeling from this card already for you with our topic today, how are you, or how can you reinvent yourself with appreciate the process? As I told pile number 1, and as I said in the intro, some of you can be in the process of reinventing yourself, and others of you are needing just a little bit of extra help on ways in which you can reinvent yourself. So I feel like an important piece of this, and that goes for all the piles, I feel like this is good guidance with appreciate the process, which is taking time to reflect on a past version of yourself, even if it is yesterday, okay, a year ago, last week, and taking time to reflect on how you have changed, how you have grown, as a person. Some of you could be working towards letting go of bad habits, or really working on yourself. So appreciating the process is taking time out to be proud of yourself, for the things that you have accomplished or the milestones that you've made, no matter how small, no matter how big, but that you just take that time to say, wow, I mean, it could even be like emotions that were difficult and challenging. Let's just say that you felt last week, and you're just like, oh, I don't know. I feel so stressed out right now. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. This is painful. This is challenging. This is awful with some of the things that we go through, right, in life. But it's like you can look at yourself today and then look back, right? Look back at yourself from last week and just feel like, wow, I didn't think I was going to make it through that, but I did, right? It's also being compassionate, I feel like, towards yourself, right? Knowing that you are a work in progress, and you're allowed to be. We all are, right? You're allowed to be a work in progress. Even if you have those times where you make a lot of progress and then you get to that point where you're like, wow, I really have come so far, right? And even if you have those days, because it all happens to all of us, where we do so good, so well, and then all of a sudden we could, right, revert back into an old pattern of behavior, an old way of thinking. It happens to everyone, right? But the important part is you're learning to release and to let go of those old ways, right? And then kind of correct yourself in a way to say, okay, we're not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that to myself anymore. We're moving on, right? So you have this process where you start to really integrate what you've learned from those former versions of yourself and appreciate the process of your growth, of you and reinventing the self, okay? So that's kind of what I'm just feeling intuitively with this. But let's look, I'm going to put this down here. Let's look at your tarot. And I am using the Mind's Eye Tarot, okay, which is available on Amazon. So pile 2, we have, I love this. You're starting off with the Queen of Swords. Let's see, Queen of Swords. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have Temperance, Sagittarius. How can you, or how are you reinventing yourself? Many of you are working towards seeing through illusions. Okay, seeing through illusions with that Queen of Swords energy here. Moving into a space of higher consciousness. Some of you are learning to find your voice, speak your truth, learning how to be more assertive, learning how to not tolerate BS from anyone, okay? How to just stand up for yourself. Yeah, that is a very powerful energy with the Queen of Swords. Seeing through illusion. The illusions that you keep yourself in, the illusions of other people that they kind of try to surround you in. That could be like surrounding yourself. Let's just say you have a friend in your life and this friend is deceptive, or, you know, they try to lie to you in some way and they try to manipulate. It's like the Queen of Swords is the energy that sees right through it, right? She sees right through it. So the Queen of Swords is about being in a very clear headspace, right? And it's not always easy for us to get to that place of seeing through illusion, right? That we keep ourselves in, or that other people keep us stuck in. But the Queen of Swords is about a need for us to be honest with ourselves and really looking at things from a more logical perspective, right? Instead of thinking with feelings and emotions that sometimes we do. Right? And the Queen of Swords is all about logic. So many of you are learning to use more of the logical perspective with things and being able to really kind of face certain facts, or, you know, make decisions even. The Queen of Swords is about decisive action. So many of you can be, you know, reinventing yourself by being more decisive, right? Looking at things clearly with what your options are, having a vision, having a plan, envisioning yourself moving ahead with something. You also have Temperance energy here. So many of you could be learning how to be more patient. You could be acknowledging where you need to kind of bring in moderation into your life, right? Because Temperance is all about balance and moderation, right? So that can go with the food that you eat, right? Recognizing with your Queen of Swords energy, looking at things honestly, clearly, right? At face value, to say, okay, I really want, let's just say you're wanting to have a better looking body. You want to feel healthier, right? And you are being honest with yourself to say, okay, I need to cut back on the sweets. I need to cut back on drinking soda. I need to work out more. Temperance is where you kind of balance out everything in your life, not just your personal health and your fitness and things like that, but that can also be with work, right? Like, let's just say you work so many long hours and you have no time for self-care, no time for rest, no time for friends, no time for family, no time for yourself, right? So Temperance is where you bring everything into balance within your life, your time, your self-care, whatever it is that you're trying to moderate within your life. And that is what Temperance is all about. Temperance is all about the process of alchemizing energy. Okay, negative, lower vibrational mindsets or situations, feelings, emotions, and a lot of healing goes into the Temperance energy as well. Okay, so let's see what else. Pile 1, pile 2. Pile 2. How can you reinvent, or how are you reinventing yourself? And some of you, that Temperance card could be literally that you're working on your health. You're working on your fitness. You're working on eating better, sleeping better, getting more rest. Pile number 2. And maybe that's something, like I said, for some of you that are trying to reinvent yourself, maybe it is, right? Taking a look at certain things that you need to bring into more balance. That could be spending. That could be working. It could be needing more self-care. Okay? Bringing balance. Pile number 2. We also have the Empress. And I was definitely feeling that. Looking at your card here, you have the cow, which is the feminine energy, and then the bull, which is the masculine. And you have the Empress coming out here too. So speaking of balance, right? Masculine, feminine, and then you have Temperance here with the Empress, which is beautiful energy. The Empress is all about love and beauty, abundance. So many of you can be working on your self-esteem, working on your confidence, working on nurturing yourself. Okay, some of you may already be doing that. Some of you, like I said, you could be, this is something that you need to do in order to integrate, right, certain things into your life to reinvent yourself. The Empress is also about body positivity, right? Falling in love with yourself, nurturing yourself, self-care, building up your self-esteem, building up your self-worth, having more confidence in yourself, learning to love your body, right? Nourishing yourself. Some of you could be reparenting yourself, if that is something, especially if you're healing any feminine mother wounds, things like that. We've got Taurus and Libra energy here, okay, which the Queen of Swords is also Libra, or because it's air sign, Gemini, Aquarius as well. But this is also you believing in your ability to be able to manifest love, to be able to manifest abundance, okay? So many of you, the key for this, I feel like, is because healing the feminine also, Temperance and Empress are the major arcana here. Some of you are healing your feminine energy through self-love, through nurturing, okay? Building yourself up could definitely be something that helps you to reinvent yourself. Knowing your worth, okay? Not just with love, but also with your job, right? Are you working at a job where they're not paying you enough and you know, wow, I am way more knowledgeable. I deserve to be paid more, right? That is you not settling for less, right? Making the changes that you need to within your life. The Empress is also about the fertility and growth, expansion, the creative process, birthing ideas, okay? Let's see what else. Pile number 2. How can you, or how are you reinventing yourself? We have the Ace of Wands. So many of you, it's kind of taking a creative approach to this. The Ace of Wands is about a spark of passion, a spark of creative energy. Okay? Pursuing a creative idea that you have and then making it manifest into something powerful, right? Envisioning what this Ace of Wands could become with that Queen of Swords energy and making decisions in order to align with that. And then we also have the star energy here, Aquarius. Also have Aries energy. But the star is all about having faith, hope, trust, belief. The star is also about finding renewal within the self. Some of you could be finding renewal through healing your feminine energy, transmuting, like I said, any of this energy. And then I'm seeing the Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So with the Six of Pentacles, this is about a balanced energy here as well. Okay, so Six of Pentacles is about give and take. So it could be that you are reinventing yourself in a way that you, like I said earlier, are not taking less than you deserve. And that includes work, relationships. It is also you investing your time and energy towards creative passions, right? With the positive mindset that whatever this is that you're working towards, that it is going to come back to you, right? The universe is going to kind of provide you with opportunities for growth. Many of you could be working towards your abundance, right? making decisions centered around your abundance here as well. Cows are also a symbol of abundance here as well, wealth. Okay, so some of you could be recognizing just how much power you actually have in being able to manifest and believing in yourself, right? Let's see what else. Pile number 2, how can you or how are you? We have change here. And I might want to get a little bit more information on change, like what is it that you're changing? It could be, of course, a transformative process that's taking place within you. Some of you might literally be moving, relocating. Some of you could be working towards changing your perspective on things. Okay, let's see what else. Pile 2. How can you or how are you reinventing yourself? We have upheaval, okay? Which is kind of like tower energy. For many of you, this could mean that you're letting certain things go. You're releasing, okay? Whether it is behaviors, mindsets, people, situations, learning to let go of things that you know are no longer in alignment. Let's see what else. Pile number 2. How are you or how can you reinvent yourself? We have bright heart light with open connections. Okay, so I'm feeling for many of you that chose this pile, there's a lot of resurfacing of maybe old wounds for some of you. This could be processing, releasing, okay, suppressed feelings and emotions, working on healing your heart. So many of you that chose this pile could be in the process of, you know, not, especially with us having the Empress here, I'm kind of feeling that for many of you, there's been some challenging love situations that you've gone through, okay, and really kind of stepping in fully into your power. And I feel like it's not only with manifesting love, but I'm also seeing abundance here. And I feel like a lot of this is very heart-centered, very much surrounding the feminine energy, really learning what your worth is. Okay, I'm definitely feeling, because you have the 6 of Pentacles energy here. You're learning what equal give and take in a romantic partnership is, a friendship, a family situation, a job, and really kind of standing up for yourself, okay? I'm definitely feeling that. Like I said, many of you finding your voice, learning how to be, you know, more outspoken, okay? Not only am I seeing heart chakra energy here, but I'm also getting with the Queen of Swords energy here. This can be the upper chakras. It can definitely be the throat chakra, okay? Learning how to speak, how to communicate, what your needs are, what your desires are, voicing them, having a vision of them in your mind's eye, right? Of you, this version of yourself that is very powerful, okay? So I'm definitely feeling a lot of the Empress energy, healing. The Star is about healing, Temperance is about healing, and then you've got the Empress here, okay? These are your major arcanas. So this is definitely a way in which you can work towards reinventing the self, and I feel like a lot of that centers around the feminine energy within, okay? Regardless of what your gender, the tarot is not gender specific. It's just speaking of the energy, and the Empress is our feminine aspect. It is the part of us that is loving and creative and nurturing. So I feel like the more you are in tune with that part of yourself, the more you tap into your intuition, your creative energy, all of the power to be able to manifest, to create, to birth ideas, right? And you've got the Ace of Wands right there, which is divine inspiration that is brought to you. So many of you, I feel like you could be having dreams, right? Have a specific goal, because the Star is also about wishes being fulfilled, wish fulfillment. Okay, so many of you might have, you know, a divine inspiration that comes to you in a dream, or you have a vision of it in your mind's eye, and you are willing to take action, make decisions, right? Even if that is something that does create upheaval in your life, change, right? Sometimes that change can be something that is a little bit uncomfortable. Some of you could have gone through upheaval in your life in which the universe is almost kind of like forcing you in a way to make changes, especially when there were certain things that we were not recognizing. Okay, for many of you, as you're going through this healing process with the bright heart, light, and open connections, it can be that you're connecting with people on a deeper level by healing, by removing blockages that you might have within your heart chakra, and really connecting from a place of unconditional love, compassion, empathy. But I'm feeling first and foremost, you are being that way towards yourself, not just towards other people, but it starts from within the self. So I do want to look at your change card here to see what this is. Like I said, it could be personal transformation and change, but some of you literally were looking at a horse that's attached to a hot air balloon here, traveling through the sky. So maybe for some of you, it's moving to a new job, right? You want to reinvent yourself. So you're saying, you know what? I'm going to get out of this place. I'm going to move out of this community. I'm going to move to a new city. And I'm going to just embrace this whole new version of me that lives in a beautiful neighborhood that I want to live in, or at this new job, you know, whatever it could be. Let's see. What is this change? Spirit for pile number 2. What is this change? Yeah, many of you, I feel like you're going through a very serious glow up here with the Empress and Temperance here. The Star. Some of you aligning with your destiny, okay? Discovering your soul's purpose. Why is change here? We've got the Moon and the Six of Swords. So yes, some of you literally either are needing to, or you are in the process of facing certain fears and insecurities, moving on, okay, from certain fears. Well, the Six of Swords is about moving on. It's also about moving away from certain ways of thinking, right? Self-sabotaging thoughts, self-limiting beliefs. Some of you are literally traveling, okay? The Moon energy is about feeling doubts and uncertainty and things being unclear. This can also be where we hold a lot of fears, insecurities, because there's a lot of unknown, right? With movement, with change. But I feel like many of you are learning to be comfortable with, or you could be in the process of stepping outside of your comfort zone, really pushing yourself, right, towards pursuing a dream or a goal. But like I said, with the appreciate the process here, we've also got Pisces energy here as well. It all comes down to you appreciating that process, right? Because like I said earlier, you are allowed to be a work in progress, okay? As you reinvent yourself, as you fully step into your power, your divinity, really working towards your healing here, okay? Is another thing that I'm seeing. Judgment at the bottom of the card too. Many of you with judgment, this could be that you're making some major life decisions. It could be that you're learning to be less judgmental towards yourself, towards others. It could also be that you're taking time to really reflect on your past and moving into a space of forgiveness, which isn't easy to do. It takes us time to get to this place. But judgment is definitely a place where we look back on our life and we think about what we've learned, right, from a certain experience that we've gone through. Sometimes it could be that we're holding on to a lot of suppressed feelings and emotions from past, or fears or insecurities from past situations that we've gone through. And so judgment gives us that opportunity to find renewal within the self by being able to let go of any weight, energetic weight that we might be carrying, whether that is anger, resentment, pain, sadness, grief, loss, shame, guilt, whatever it is. And this is where we decide to let that go, right? Judgment is also about answering the call of your soul. So many of you, like I said, you could be aligning with your soul's purpose, right? But I feel like with the appreciate the process, it is, like I said, looking back, right? Even if it's yesterday, right? And you did something yesterday and you're like, okay, maybe I should have handled that better. Or, I did a really good job yesterday. Look how I'm changing. Look how I'm growing. I didn't let this person trigger me today. Or I didn't let what my coworker said annoy me. Or, just little things like that. I feel like it's really you appreciating the process of you even taking the time to be self-aware, right? To really reflect within yourself, to say, wow, you know what? I am a better version of myself than I was last week. You know, going through this thing or this situation last week at work taught me. It allowed me to see a fear that was still there, or an insecurity that I was still letting me hold me back, right? So fully appreciating the process of your growth, being proud of yourself. Look at how in this star card here, she's just like hugging, clinging on, holding on to that star. You know, she's got her eyes closed. Like I said, the star card is about renewal, you know, feeling a sense of peace, sense of calm after the storm. And then you have the upheaval here too. So I'm looking at this kind of like as the tower energy and then the star. So I feel like it's, for many of you, it's working towards finding inner peace, okay? Which is really helping you to find or reinvent yourself. That may be something that you're working towards, right? Releasing anybody that is bringing in chaotic energy into your life, moving away from it, out of that job, toxic relationship, toxic friendship, whatever it is, whatever dynamic it is. But it's really about you finding inner peace, inner calm, balance, right? Back to the energy of temperance. Okay? So very beautiful. And I'm seeing the devil right underneath. I have to bring that out. Devil spirit is showing me that. The devil right underneath judgment. So many of you, this is the working towards releasing unhealthy patterns of behaviors, addictions, attachments, codependency, self-limiting beliefs. Okay? Some of you, it can even be in a positive light. The devil energy can also be talking about a lot of your hidden desires. Okay? So you might have a hidden desire of something that you want to pursue, right? And judgment would be you making the decision to pursue, let's just say, a hidden desire that you might have, a wish that you have, a dream that you have. And with that Queen of Swords energy here, being able to create a vision, a plan in your mind's eye, and being able to then take this Ace of Wands as that inspiration and be able to actually manifest that, right, into the physical world with that Six of Pentacles. Okay, and I'm seeing the Chariot energy here, which is about powerful movement forward, whereas the Devil energy can be a little bit restrictive. Okay, the Chariot energy is about moving forward. It's about powerful momentum and, you know, being able to face all of those challenges. The Chariot is also about balance. Okay. Normally on the Chariot card, you can see two sphinxes, which are black and white, which are the yin and yang, or you can look at it as the feminine and masculine, which you also have here too. So I'm feeling a lot of this is by you finding, like I said, inner peace, inner calm, inner balance. We've also got Scorpio, Cancer, and Capricorn, Libra energy here. Okay? Okay, I had totally cleared all your cards away and I forgot to use this deck. So I had to lay them all back out and we're going to finish up your reading with these messages here. So how can you, or how are you reinventing yourself? Pile number 2. We have ego captivity. Okay, so ego captivity is when we are trapped within the ego in terms of it letting it control, complete control over, say, things that your intuition is guiding you towards, right? And this could be living in fear-based thinking or, you know, guilt, shame, anything that kind of holds you back from that growth, okay? It's understanding where ego captivity might happen. And this can go into us overthinking, overanalyzing. It could come into us keeping ourselves stuck. It reminds me very much of the Eight of Swords energy in the tarot. The Eight of Swords keeping ourselves stuck in a mental prison of negative thinking, right? So this can either be that you are recognizing, right, when you are captive in a sense by the ego, right? You're allowing your fears to rule you. Let's just phrase it that way. You're allowing your fears to rule you versus going with what your gut feeling is telling you, right? So I feel like that could be something that you're working towards, is releasing yourself from that place. And being that you have the Queen of Swords, like I said, the Queen of Swords is all about seeing through illusions, right? Logical mind. So It could be you recognizing, okay, how does my ego keep me captive with certain situations? Does my ego keep me captive in terms of being able to pursue a goal that I have? A desire, going after that job, moving to that new country, moving to that new city, right? It could even be in terms of relationships, right? The ego telling you, oh no, you can't have better than that relationship, so you might as well settle for this one, right? So all of those fears that could be keeping us stuck. So many of you, it could be addressing, right? Taking some time to reflect. Again, with the Queen of Swords, being honest with yourself. So let's see what else. Pile number 2. How can you, or how are you reinventing yourself? The third eye chakra. Okay, so many of you learning to tap or tune in more into your intuition, removing blockages there. Let's see what else. And those can also be things, right, that block out the ego as well. We have negative soul ties. Okay, so that can either be that you're recognizing where you have attachments or negative soul ties to certain people. It can also be that you have already done, right? You've already worked on the process of removing certain negative attachments to people that you have in your life. Like, let's just say, for example, there's a person who ghosted you in the past, and they like to have this pattern of behavior where they keep coming in and out when they feel like it. And then you let them, right? You let them in the past come in, they're going to text you for a little while, and then all of a sudden they're gone again, right? And you keep going through that same cycle over and over again. And that also goes back into your Empress energy, right? Recognizing what your worth is. 6 of Pentacles, is it a balanced connection, right? Am I giving too much? Do I give and give and give and people don't give back to me? And that doesn't just have to be romantic. It can be with family members too, right? Friends. Are you, with the Queen of Swords energy here, it's seen it, right? It's seen where you have a negative soul tie, right? It could be a current partner. It could be a friendship. It could be a romantic partner. And it is about you recognizing that and being able to make change, right? Trusting in what your heart is telling you, releasing with the upheaval energy here and healing whatever there is within you, because the devil can also talk about the unhealthy attachments, right? Karmic situations, karmic patterns of behavior, toxicity. So it can be negative soul ties that you have to someone that you need to release, or some of you, like I said, have already been in the process. And that is how you were in reinventing yourself. You're learning to say no. You're learning to speak up for yourself. You're learning how to be more assertive and speak your truth and tell people, hey, if you're not going to give into this connection, sorry. You're not willing to give into this friendship, you got to go. Or I'm moving on, right? I'm moving on from this. Okay? Let's see what else. We have introspection. Okay? So many of you, it's spending that time, right? Alone, reflecting. Solo journey for some of you, right? Especially if you're single and you have that time to really reflect. For those of you that are, already with somebody romantically. Introspection doesn't just have to, of course, be something that you do when you're single. It's just something that we do, right? Where we really take time to reflect within the self, right? Of course, if we have romantic partners and we're married and we have children, of course, it can be a little bit more difficult to find that time. But this is for you to take time, right? With that Empress energy to nourish the self, nurture the self, spend that time that you need to reflect within, right? What is it that my heart is feeling me? What is it that my heart is telling me? Where is my heart guiding me? Like I said, for many of you with judgment, it could be that you're being called towards your soul's purpose, right? And that if you're moving towards your soul's purpose, right, that is something that's in alignment with you, right? That reinvented version of self. In order for us to get to that place, we have to release the attachments that we have to people and situations that are not in alignment with us. Okay? Let's see, what else? And then we have awakening your creativity. So many of you working on creative projects or starting a new creative project. And awakening creativity also comes in line, right, with that Empress energy as well. Because the Empress is is creation. Okay. We also have energetic responsibility. Okay. So in order for you to reinvent yourself, or ways in which you can reinvent yourself, is understanding that you are responsible for your energy, right? And the way that I want you guys to think about this example is that, let's just say, kind of like what I was saying earlier about a person who comes in and out of your life. It doesn't even need to be romantic. It can be a family member or a friend that you know you've identified this person is toxic, right? But you don't stand up for yourself, you don't speak up for yourself, and you allow that person to come in, to use you, or to whatever it is that they're doing, right? Because you didn't stand up for yourself and you didn't say no, you weren't assertive enough, or, whatever it might be. And then you feel to yourself like, wow, I really feel really miserable. I feel stressed out. I feel anxious. I feel exhausted. I feel emotionally just drained, right? This is us understanding with energetic responsibility that we are responsible for who, kind of like we're responsible for the company that we keep, right? Think about it in that way, that we are responsible for our own energy. So if you continue to allow, right, a certain people in your life, right, or even holding on to a certain job, and you're like, wow, I feel stressed out every day because my work environment is so toxic, but yet we're not doing anything about it, right? We keep letting it happen, or we keep staying at that job that we can't stand. We have to understand that we are responsible for kind of, to a certain extent, what is going on in our life. If we're not comfortable with it, if we're not happy with it, cut those negative soul ties, right? Leave the job. Let that friendship go. Okay? We have to take some accountability for what we're feeling, what we're going through, and understanding, okay, well, what choices am I making? Why do I feel the way that I feel, right? So some of you may already be learning to be more energetically responsible, to be able to honestly look at things and to make some very careful decisions, right? Powerful decisions. Maybe for some of you, releasing attachments to certain toxic people. And that comes through you really deep diving into the self. Okay? So that's kind of what I'm seeing here with that. So take it as you will with energetic responsibility, but it's you kind of understanding, right? Am I holding on to, you can even be doing it to yourself, right? You could be holding on to certain fears and insecurities, right? That limit you from pursuing a goal. And you're just like, wow, I feel like crap. I feel miserable, right? I really wanted that job, but I was too afraid to go get it, right? We have to understand and own it and say, okay, I know, I recognize I let my fear get in the way, right? The ego captivity. I am doing this to myself. Okay? So that is all that I have for you, pile number 2. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, pile 3. So those of you that resonated with the nurture connections, the gray wolf card. So with our topic today, how can you, or how are you reinventing yourself? I'm feeling like this could be something that's really important for you with this, and we'll see how with your tarot. But nurture connections, I'm noticing that there's a little pack of wolves that are here. So nurturing connections for you could be that you are, and like I told pile 1 and pile 2, some of you are in the process, right, of reinventing yourself, and some of you are already implementing certain things. But I'm feeling like the nurturing connections is important for you in that this could be your family members, okay? It could also be friends. It can also be friends that you see as your family, right? It doesn't always have to be blood related, but I feel like with the nurturing your connections, where this is important for you, I feel like, is that you are opening your heart to nurturing the connections that actually give back to you, okay? Ones that are supportive, ones that are loving, is that you are putting your time and your energy there to nurturing those connections to the best of their ability, something that really are serving for you. So many of you can be asking yourself, do the connections I have right now in my life with family members, with friends, with coworkers, whoever it might be in your life, are they nurturing? Or do you feel like you are the one that's always doing all the work? Or is it quite the opposite, where you are someone who is more, isolating yourself. And sometimes, and I felt like this in the past too, I felt like, you know, depending on certain things that I was going through in my personal life, I shut a lot of people out. I isolated myself, you know, and they're now looking back at it, I'm like, wow, I was really a crappy friend, you know, but there was a lot of things that I was going through mentally, emotionally. My mental health wasn't in a great space. And so I pushed a lot of people away, a lot of friends away, romantic partners away, because I felt like it was just like in this dark hole, and I didn't want anybody around me, you know. And there were people that were trying to be supportive, and I didn't let them be supportive. I didn't want anybody around me. So, but I feel like it is important for you to acknowledge those people that are in your life, that are being supportive, that are, you know, and that you would consider, right, letting people in, you know. And sometimes, yes, we do need that time to be by ourselves and to just take some time to reflect, but sometimes it can get to a point where we push people away too much, right? And we become very guarded, and we don't trust, and we don't want anybody there, okay? I've also been there, you know, on that side of the fence as well. But I feel like for you, this is about you nurturing the connections that are important for you, the ones that do give back, the ones that are loving, the ones that are supportive. And maybe if that means you're working towards letting your guard down, or to be more accepting of love and compassion and empathy from others, you know. So we'll kind of see how this is playing into your reading here. And I would say also, like I said, take a look to see, are the connections that you have in your life, are they nurturing? Okay? Or are they taken away from you? Are they depleting? And should these connections be ones that you release and you let go of and work towards, you know, socializing with people or connecting with others, and, you know, making new connections with people. Okay? So let's see pile number 3, and I am using the Mind's Eye Tarot, which is available on Amazon. Pile number 3, how are you, or how can you reinvent yourself? We have the Six of Swords. It's your first card out. How are you, or how can you reinvent yourself? We have the Two of Pentacles. We have Judgment. We have the Tower. I love this Tower card. Look at how she's in it. She's in the Tower. Okay. We have the Star. I love it. You have number 16, which is the Tower, and then number 17, which is the Star. Okay. Bottom of the deck, we do have the World. Okay, the World card. So let's put that down here. Okay. So your major arcana that you have here is Judgment, the Tower, the Star, and the World. And with the World energy here, this is about closing cycles, completing cycles, okay, within your life. And almost being that we have this Tower card that is depicted with her kind of in the tower, right? This looks like her, kind of like her bottom half here. But there's a bunch of smoke coming out of the Tower. And the Tower energy is about epiphanies. It can be about realizations that we're having. The Tower energy can also be very chaotic, unstable. This is, you know, something being broken down, something that is not in alignment with us. This is things kind of falling apart, being flipped upside down. So this card is a lot about release, okay? A lot about release. So this could be releasing certain things that you could be holding on to, okay, as a way to help you to reinvent yourself, because we have the Six of Swords here, and the Six of Swords is about moving on, Okay, it's a card of transition. It's often called the rites of passage, meaning that we are transitioning away from something that was creating very chaotic energy, whether it was a situation that we were in or it is a mindset, a way of thinking, right? It could be self-sabotaging thoughts for some of you, okay? Victim mindset, victim mentality that you're moving away from. This is helping you to find more balance within inside of yourself. It's also making yourself a priority or prioritizing certain things in your life, moving away from things that are not a priority for you, right? That are going to help you to reinvent yourself in a way. The Tower is coming in to bring, like, for some of you, a wake-up call, right? An epiphany, a realization. Some of you literally could be going through a spiritual awakening with this card here as well. But maybe that could be you also awakening into what needs to be released, what needs to be let go of, right? This with the Two of Pentacles here can also be about you making choices, balancing, weighing out your options. It could be feeling more balance within your life. And then you also have Judgment here. And Judgment is about you looking back. It is about life review. So it is looking back on the karmic lessons that we've learned, right? This is also a space where we find renewal within the self. Judgment can also be a card of awakening, okay? Judgment is about when we look back on these things that we've gone through to, find out what kind of lessons did we learn through this experience, or even through things from way back, right? Childhood, or when we were growing up, a past relationship that was from 10 years ago, 5 years ago. What did we learn through all of that? Are we still holding on to pain, sadness, grief, guilt, shame, regret, right? This is an opportunity for us to forgive others. It's an opportunity for us to forgive ourselves, to release a lot of the energetic weight and burdens that we're holding on to, right? So this Tower can be, as you're working towards reinventing yourself, releasing whatever needs to be let go of. And this could be you taking time to ask yourself, right? What is it that I can let go of? Okay. And then we have the Star energy here, which the Star in the Tarot does come right after the Tower. The Tower is the storm. It is the chaos. It is the destruction. And the Star is something that brings in peace, right? Peace and calm after the storm. So this could be you working towards releasing, right? Old versions of yourself, looking back and say, okay, what did I learn from that experience that I went through, in high school, or with this old relationship, this old friendship? Okay, how can I then integrate what I've learned into my life moving forward, right? Like, let's just say if you're someone who, let's just say you had a bad habit of gossiping, and you knew from that last experience of you gossiping that all it did was create turmoil in your life, drama, right? So then you say to yourself, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't gossip anymore. I should not do that. It's a bad habit, right? So you decide, okay, with this Tower energy, I acknowledge, yes, I've been someone to gossip, and I'm not going to do that anymore, right? So it's you completely working on making change. I feel like personal change, or also looking at certain things that you have to release and let go of. Maybe there's a job that's not in alignment, or it's a friendship that's not in alignment. It could be a romantic partnership, right? That only brings chaos, that is only bringing in unstable energy, right? Because again, nurturing connections, are they the right connections for you? Are they giving back? Are they healing? Are they loving? Are they supportive? Or is this the end of the road? Right? The Star is about you having faith, trust, belief. The Star is something that's ultimately leading us towards our destiny, towards our wish fulfillment, right? So we have to understand sometimes that some things in our life we're not meant to hold on to forever, right? There are certain things that we're only meant to come in as a specific lesson in our life, and we then integrate, right? Judgment is about a rebirth. It is about, taking all those things that we've learned in the past, releasing fears, releasing doubt, releasing pain, sadness, grief, everything that we've been holding on to from all of those different life experiences, and then becoming this new version of self, The Judgment card is us going through the rebirth process, right? Taking the love and the lessons with us and leaving everything else behind, okay? And that clearly here with the world energy here is about you closing cycles, okay? So what I would like to do, we do have Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, Leo energy here. What else? We've got some Libra energy here. Let's look at, I want to clarify your Judgment card, I think. Or no, I'm sorry, the Tower. And see what this is that you are releasing here. What is this Tower energy here? And it may even be reflecting on your choices, right? Reflecting on your choices. What choices have you made in the past? Where have they led you? Were they good choices, bad choices? What can we learn from it? How can we move forward? Forgive yourself for making bad choices, right? We all have to do that. Why is Judgment here? We have the Lovers. Okay, so some of you, quite literally, it could be letting go of a relationship. Okay, letting go of a connection. Doesn't just have to be romantic partnership. It could be someone that's close to you. Okay, and someone that you love, someone that you care about. What else? What is this Tower energy here? Justice. Okay, so this, for some of you, this can be karmic relationships. Some of you, it might even be a marriage that is not in alignment with you, a partner who's not in alignment. Justice is about what's doing best for your highest good. Okay. Justice is also acting from a space of integrity, honesty, truth, fairness, balance. Those of you that are in connections here, doesn't matter what kind, okay? Are they fair and balanced? Okay, are they fair and balanced connections? If not, let's let them go, right? Like I said earlier, nurturing the connections that are supportive, that are loving, that are giving towards you, but also making you are in that space, making sure that you're in that space as well, right? That is open to nurturing that, right? If it is something that makes you feel good, right? That makes you pay attention, I feel like, to how you feel after you spend time. Try not to think about the label of, oh, this person is my mom, or this person is my father, or this person is my sibling, or, you know, daughter, son, coworker, friend that's been my friend for 30 years. How do you feel after spending time with that person? Do you feel uplifted? Do you feel inspired? Or are you feeling completely drained emotionally? You know, pay attention to that. So yeah, I feel like for some of you, it can be letting go or releasing karmic connections, or ones that then maybe there's karmic soul contracts that you might have with a person. Okay. I'm also feeling for some of you, there could be a need for, with the Tower energy, also like a realization or epiphany to be able to follow your heart. Okay, that's another thing that I'm seeing here as well, because a Lovers is also about a choice, a major choice, right? And following what our heart is leading us towards. So Justice being about weighing things out, making decisions, right? Some of you, it can be really to reinvent yourself. It is about following what your heart is guiding you towards. Okay, making decisions, paying attention to what your heart is telling you, right? In order to bring in something that brings in happiness, fulfillment for you. So let's see what else. We also have Gemini and Libra energy here. Pile number 3, how can you, or how are you? We have abundance. Okay, so some of you can even be shifting into an abundance mindset, okay, making decisions, creating more balance or harmony. Maybe it is, even with the Two of Pentacles here, more balance within your finances, prioritizing things, okay? Some of you, this connections doesn't even have to be another person. It can be your connection to money, your money mindset, okay? healing a money mindset, right? Because you do have abundance here. So maybe some of you have a poverty consciousness, lack mentality, right? And you could be nurturing the connection that you have with money. Okay. That can also be something for some of you as well. Let's see what else. It's also about recognizing your worthiness to abundance, right? To love, to friendships, to connections that are nurturing, right? You're worthy of those. And knowing that, right? Moving away from any ones that are, right? Not healthy. Let's see. Pile number 3. How can you or how are you reinventing yourself? We have precognition here, and it says psychic ability and also future vision. So some of you can be, improving your spiritual gifts, okay? Paying more attention to dreams, paying more attention to signs, to synchronicities, to your connection to your higher self, right? That could even be you nurturing the connection with your spirit guides, your ancestors, your spirit team. For some of you with the star energy here, this is also about healing. Okay? Healing could be the key for some of you to reinventing yourself. Some of you, the Lover's energy can also be about you finding balance and union within yourself. Okay? Healing your feminine and your masculine energy. And in this card, it almost looks like, I think it's the masculine who's kind of, I want to say, to me, this kind of looks like the masculine here, helping to, nurture the feminine. Okay, so however you wish to interpret that, but I'm just seeing it. It's like this side over here is kind of touching the face of the other one here. And it's, the Lover is a very beautiful energy of unconditional love. And so this could be you finding union with inside of yourself, right? Nurturing those parts or those aspects of yourself that feel unworthy of abundance, of love, of healthy connections. Okay? It may even be you nurturing the connection that you have to yourself. Right? The connection you have with yourself. Wow, that is really beautiful. Okay. Let's see what else. Pile number 3. How can you or how are you? And like I said, take it how it resonates, because some of you are already doing this, and some of you, this is just kind of needing that extra little bit of help to implementing certain things to help you to reinvent the self. We have relationship. Okay, so a lot of talk about relationships here. Okay, as we were kind of saying, relationship with self, relationship with others. I want to ask Spirit a little bit more about this nurturing connections here. Why is nurturing connections important for pile number 3? The Wheel of Fortune. And this may be something that helps you to improve your life. It could be, the Wheel of Fortune is also about us being at a turning point in our life and needing to make changes. It's also about learning not to try to force or to control, right? Even the outcome of certain connections. You might have someone who's been a really great friend to you for, say, 12 years, but then all of a sudden the relationship is not what it used to be, right? It's no longer serving a purpose in your life. So you're like, okay, this is painful, because we can have breakups with friendships in the same way that we can with romantic partnerships, right? Just because we have a friend does not mean that they have to be in our life forever, right? It could be someone who's serving a purpose, to be in our life for a short period of time for whatever we needed to teach them and them needing to teach us. So yeah, I'm definitely feeling releasing control when it comes to connections, but also going with the flow, right? If something is nurturing you in that time, in that space, in that moment, then be open to nurturing, if it's something that is healthy for you, right? Giving back to you. If not, again, 6 of Swords, or do we need to move on from it? Okay. I'm also feeling this will help you to remove yourself out of cycles where you nurture the wrong connections, ones that are not serving you. Okay. Let's see what else. Why is nurturing connections important for... I feel like also there will be people that will come into your life as well. Pile number 3, that it will be important to your soul's growth, to helping you to lead you towards ultimately where you're meant to be, right? So paying close attention to make sure that you are nurturing the right relationships, the right connections. Not getting distracted by ones that are lower vibrational, lower frequency, keeping you stuck like in this cycle over and over again. You want to move on to connections that are really serving, that are kind of, I mean, this could even be making friends with someone who truly inspires you, who embodies the energy that you want to embody, right? Like, let's just say that a person who has really worked really hard towards manifesting abundance, and you look at that person, you're just like, wow, how did they do that, right? You make friends with that person, you talk to them, you ask them questions, and it's kind of something that helps to inspire you, right? To see that you are worthy of it, right? It's possible for you. Okay, let's see. Why is nurturing connections important for pile number 3? The Hierophant. Okay. Well, the Hierophant is about knowledge. It's about wisdom. It's also about our beliefs, values, right? So maybe for somebody who nurturing connections with people who have the same values as you, right? Can be something that are really helpful. This can also teach you, right? If someone does not share the same values as you, stay in the connection, move on from it, right? Sometimes as you also grow and evolve, your values might change, right? The things that are important to you in life might change, and so do your connections with others. Okay? So again, ask yourself, do the connections that I have in my life, do they serve me? How do I feel after spending time with this person? Do I feel drained? Do I feel sad? Do I feel hurt? Do I feel manipulated? Do I feel betrayed? How do I feel? Or do I feel encouraged? Do I feel support? Do I feel love? Do I feel admired? Do I feel valued here? Okay. Let's see, one more. 10 of Wands. Yeah. 10 of Wands energy. Some of you, you can have certain connections that create more stress, right? More stress with that 10 of Wands. Where maybe for some of you where you feel like you are carrying the weight, right? Some of you, this nurturing connections could be something positive in that you are taking a look at what energetic burdens you're carrying from your past, okay, which could have nothing to do with certain connections that you might have presently. And the best way that I can explain this is, let's just say that you, in the past, you went through a really bad breakup and you're still holding on to that energy, right? Or you're still holding on to childhood trauma. And then you have new people who come into your life who are trying to be there for you, right? But because of this weight and baggage that you're holding on to, you don't let anybody in, right? You end up sabotaging your connections. So again, with this, maybe it's also for some of you to reinvent yourself. It's taking a look at what burdens you're carrying. What can you release? What can you let go of, right? 2 of those powerful messages here that we have for you, pile 3, is the Tower energy, the world, right? What can you release? What can you let go of should be your takeaway here. Like I said, some of you might already be in the process of recognizing what is bringing in chaotic energy, what you need to move away from or move on from, or it can even be something, a process that's happening within you, right? Where you need to move away from certain limitations, ways of thinking, right? Because the Hierophant can also be about our beliefs. And sometimes those beliefs that we hold on to could be outdated ways of thinking that can hold us back, okay? So yes, definitely, 10 of Wands is a lot of heaviness, a lot of weight, a lot of stress, a lot of burden, okay? Working towards releasing, moving forward. So let's get some last messages for you. Pile number 3. We also have Taurus energy here. Pile number 3. How are you, or how can you reinvent yourself? We have pain and suffering. Okay? And being that you have the Tower energy here, I want to say this is you releasing yourself from pain and suffering through healing, right? Because when we go through, right, trauma, challenging life situations, and we can choose to hold on to this, right? Choose to hold on to things for years and years and years and choose to stay in a place of pain and suffering. Or we can decide, I'm going to start focusing on healing. I'm going to make myself a priority. I'm going to move away from connections that cause pain and suffering. I'm going to move away from mindset and ways of thinking that keep me in a place of pain and suffering. Okay? That could even be repeating certain scenarios in your mind over and over again from a past trauma that you've gone through, right? We can either decide this stops here. I'm no longer choosing pain and suffering. I'm choosing to heal. I'm choosing to move forward. I'm choosing to release this energetic weight that I'm carrying, because this is something that is blocking me from being able to nurture new connections. Okay? Let's see what else. Acceptance, which is beautiful. It's beautiful. It's not always easy to get there. It's a process, right? Acceptance, the things that we cannot change, right? Accepting certain things. That could be like I said, if there are certain relationships that you have in your life that are not balanced, that are only creating chaotic energy, right? That you're feeling, okay, I need to move away from this. It's causing friction, or it's, causing something in my life. It's accepting yourself as you are, right? And starting to implement certain change. It is accepting people, knowing that we cannot force someone to change, right? Other people, friends, family members. Accepting situations for what they are. And if they no longer work for us, that we have the willpower to be able to move on from them, or accepting certain things that have caused pain and suffering in the past so that we can move to a place of renewal within the self. And this may even be something, where we go through a breakup, or we lose someone, right? Somebody passes away and we're going through the stages of grief, right? Sometimes that can take us time to really accept that loss of that person or of that pet. Or, whoever, whatever it is that might be in our life that we are feeling that way for. But moving into a place of acceptance, right, requires us to dedicate our self-time to healing and to releasing. Okay, let's see what else. Pile number 3. What can you do to reinvent yourself? Energetic responsibility. And this card came out for another pile too. So the best way that I can explain this energy of this card that I made is about you understanding that you have a choice. Okay, you have a choice. And especially with the pain and suffering here, pain and suffering is a choice. Okay, to a certain extent. I know some of you are going to be like, no, it's not, but yes, it is. Okay, I've been there. My mental health was not in a good place. I've been hospitalized in the past, and I stayed in this space for the good majority of my life, okay? Good majority of my life, since I was very young, as a child, feeling depressed, sad, disassociated, because of traumas and things like that I've gone through. And I kept myself in this space probably until I was about 41 years old. And I saw nothing else but pain, but suffering. That was all I knew, and that was my headspace. Everything was a dark, rainy, cloudy, dark hole of a day, and that was all that I saw. But then I started to recognize I am choosing to keep myself in this space rather than grow and evolve out of it, right? So it is your energetic responsibility to understand that if there are certain connections in your life that are not nurturing for you, right? And those connections, let's just say they create stress, they create chaos, they create sadness, pain, all of these other feelings, right, that are not good. that it is your choice, right? With the Six of Swords, to move on from it, right? There can also be certain negative thoughts that you have. Also understanding that is your energetic responsibility, right? So it's us also taking accountability for the energy, the thoughts that we put out, that we hold on to, right? And if we're really wanting to improve ourselves and grow and expand and change and evolve into reinventing yourself, we have to understand and take a look at, right? Very carefully, right? What are the connections that I have? What is my relationship with my boss? What is my relationship with my mom and dad? What is it with my siblings? What is it with this friend? What is it with this romantic partner? How do these connections serve me? Are they serving me? How do I feel? How do I feel towards that person? Is it negative? Is it good? Right? So we're also taking accountability within the self, right? And for those of you that kind of, let's just say you allow people to come in and out of your life and cause like these big, crazy, chaotic situations, you are responsible, right? You can learn to say no. You can learn to set boundaries. You can learn to make the best choices to serve your highest good, which is what justice is about. Okay? So yes, understanding you're energetically responsible for the self. No one else is responsible for you, even if you have been someone, right, that has gone through pain and suffering. It is your job to heal. No one else is going to do it for you, right? That was something I had to learn too, right? Hard lesson. Hard lesson. It wasn't up to anyone else to heal me. I had to do it myself. Okay? But know that there are people out there, right? Friends, family members that are loving, that are supportive, that will give you what you need as you are moving through your healing process. You just have to be open to that. Okay? You can have supportive connections with friends or family members that have gone through the same things, right? Have experienced the same things as you. Okay? Let's see what else. We have the sacral chakra, okay? So for some of you, this is going to be working on, something that's going to help you to build up your self-esteem, your confidence, releasing guilt, releasing shame. Those of you that have gone through any type of traumas, okay? They're going to be stored here in this area as well. Okay. This is also a place where we balance our emotions. It's also a place where we have all of our passionate, sensual, creative energy. Okay, so that can be reconnecting into that part of yourself. Removing blockages within the sacral chakra can really help you to kind of open up and get that fire lit within you again. Let's see. And then we have on the right path. Okay, so by releasing here, right, and I'm seeing attachment at the bottom, releasing attachment to people, to situations, to certain things that are unhealthy for you, right? Ones that are not in alignment. This is helping you ultimately to get on the right path, okay? By learning some connections, like I said, are not always meant to be there, right? Sometimes we need to let go. For some of you, it can even be by releasing certain people, situations, or ways of thinking. You're also helping yourself to open up to abundance, receiving abundance in your life. And that could come through not just the form of money, but through love, feeling abundant with love, with family, with friends, with, a new job that you secure or a new house that you live in, right? Because once you know, or once you are on the right path, that is when the universe starts opening doors, right? For you, making things easier for you to access certain things. You unlock a certain potential, and within inside of yourself, you unlock a whole new set of blessings that are available to you, right? By releasing what is not in alignment, releasing attachment to people, to outcomes, to certain situations. Okay? So that is all that I have for you. Pile number 3. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading.